Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and not pictured on your screen, is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
All right.
And we are back with Jettin back to 94, I guess 93, 94. The Winnipeg Jets 93-94 season start. Jeff, we just can't get out of the first or second round in the playoffs, and it's starting to kill me. The good news is we've killed the Calgary dynasty at least.
The Kings killed the Calgary dynasty.
Well, the Kings had to sneak by us, right?
Yeah. I mean, we lost in the first round again, but I mean, at least the team that we lost to eventually wound up winning it narrowly. But Calgary had 4 cups in a row heading up to this, and LA shut that down finally.
Yeah.
So Gretzky gets his cup in LA.
He does, and adds to his grand total. So looking at kind of our big thing here, we can see, so we simmed through, we went through free agency. I don't think anyone actually retired this year because we got rid of most of our older guys. We had our draft. I'm just going to pull it up here.
Arnott in the first round, Chris Gratton in the second.
Yeah, and then Shea Donovan, Serge Aubin, and a few guys I'd never heard of.
And this is the Florida and Anaheim expansion year. So we actually got off lucky there, I think.
Dillo Dallas Swaggins in the chat asks, is there a perfect team mode in HM8, which I'm guessing means FHM8? And the answer is no, we do not have perfect team in Franchise Hockey Manager. Breeze8837 says, grab your jetpacks because OOTP is going back in time, back to the past NHL edition. Yeah, well, it's the 90s were a fun and interesting time. So if we look at our team now, you'll see some players who were on the Jets or...
Not that many of them.
Well, there's still a number of them. We have Chris Draper, Timo Solani,
Shamnov,
Zelnick, Teponimon.
I mean, the big thing you didn't do was move Howard-Chuck to Buffalo for Phil Housley, which has actually worked out really great for both teams because Buffalo's been doing really well hanging on to Housley instead of having Howard-Chuck.
Yeah, we also have Daryl Shannon who played for the Jets. We have some Jets on here, but we also have some bigger name NHL guys. We traded for Brendan Shanahan, brought in Alexander Mogilny. I think we signed Randy Cunnyworth, right? I don't even remember how we got him.
I think he was a free agent. Hang on, let me look.
Oh no, yeah, free agent.
Oh no, we had him at the start. He was with
Oh, we traded for him apparently. Oh no, he played with the Jets.
Yeah, 89-90. Yeah, he was on the roster at the start of the game.
I take that back.
Is it? Yep.
I kind of forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, so
they got him from Pittsburgh, and then they traded him to Hartford before the season was up.
Yeah. We brought in Dominic Hasek. We had Grant Fuhr, traded him away. Yeah, drafted Zuboff. Traded for Eric Weinrich. Brought in Fedosov at the trade deadline-ish last year. To boost our
he's kind of winding down now, but he was pretty good for us in the limited time we had him, so
yeah,
good enough for a 5th or 6th guy for sure this year.
Yeah, brought some other names you noticed, like Roman Hammer, like Adrian Aucoin, Yuri Slager. Yeah, just a handful of guys. Christoph Oliwa.
Yeah, we did lose Dmitry Mironov in the expansion draft, the one big one that we lost, but
overall, I don't feel too bad. Our goaltending situation is a little bit scary with Damian Rhodes seemingly taking a step back.
I mean, Hashik's going to play 70-plus games regardless.
So. I played 74 for us last year. So yeah, we're trying to find ways to accentuate our team. And so Jeff and I were talking just before the stream started about what we could do to increase our team. And so we were looking at the free agent pool and see if there's anyone really interesting. We talked about possibly adding Igor Kravchuk. So thoughts on that, Jeff?
Since I mean, Kravchuk was actually had a good in 93-94 with it was with the Oilers. So I think that was his best season. But in this game, he hasn't come over from Russia yet, so you might as well grab him. And he's probably not going to put up 50 points like he did in real life, but should be maybe a good guy to pair with Fetisov on the third pair.
Okay, so we can.
The other alternative would be František Kuchera, who's.
Well, we don't necessarily have to use him, but we can put an offer in. He only wants 100,000. Okay, so let's do that.
Yep.
PWOG, I still sound low? PWOG's talking in FHM chat, so I'm just waiting for an answer. Jeff is louder than
probably bring it up a little bit more.
All right, give me a second here. That is not what I wanted to show. Okay, not what I'm looking for. Okay, how about now, PWOG? Am I sounding louder now? Jeff, you can listen to and tell me what you think.
Yeah, you sound a little louder. It's reasonably audible, I'd say.
Sorry. Okay. Right. So we put in an offer to Kravchuk. Do you think we should put an offer into a goaltender too?
I think you got
Frederick Anderson.
Worst case, you go with Blaine Locker as a backup this year, but I think you can probably pick up somebody a little better in the waiver draft, which will be coming up in the end of the exhibition season.
Yeah, we don't currently have him signed.
Oh, you probably should do that. Can't imagine he's asking for very much.
We should get him signed. What if we lose him? He wants 101,000 for 3 years. Okay, that is a sweet nickname, though. The Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah. He was good for about 1 year in Boston, and actually that game hasn't happened yet. That year hasn't happened yet in games. So,
all right, I can't offer him less than that. So. We will continue here. Okay, so we made a couple offers. We're in middle of August, so Hall of Fame inductions. Guy Lapointe gets in. Carol Vandis, Lanny McDonald, and Dallas Smith. All right. Now, the one thing about playing historical mode is you're going to sim like crazy fast. Other than the fact we have...
yeah,
a couple of offers, which is why I didn't mind waiting. And we continue here. Okay, so we still have some guys who are having a tough time adjusting, particularly Yuri Slager, which is a little bit surprising because, I mean, he's been on the team now for a couple of years, or playing for AHL affiliate. I love the storyline. Arturs Urbe has released an album. What kind of music is he singing?
Stars just moved to Texas in the game, so maybe you should come up with a country album.
It is. We'll release a country album called The Many Moods of Arturs Urbe.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, apparently. Yes. So what could possibly work better? All right, so Igor Kravchuk signed as well as Locker. All right. Country Music Fest, yes. All right, as you can see, we're kind of flying through here now. We're at the end of August. Guess we should take a quick look and see if there's anybody interesting on the trade block. So we go NHL, transactions, trading block. Gary Galley's on the trading block. Now a color commentator for Sportsnet in Canada. I think he does the Edmonton home games too. I think I saw that.
Olympic year, by the way, too.
Jimmy Carson's on the trade block. Lyle Odeline.
Toughen us up a bit.
They don't want a ton for him. But I don't think we really need him when we just signed Kravchuk.
Yeah, you got Marchman too, so he's kind of...
Darn, I miss the old NHL shield. The old orange NHL shield. I kind of do too.
No, actually, I think about Marchman kind of took a step back last year because he couldn't give him much playing time. So it doesn't really make sense to sign Odeline in that case.
No, but if you wanted toughness, we could sign Dave Manson or Shane Corson or trade for. Only 215 penalty minutes for Shane Corson.
No, I think we're fine at forward.
Yeah. Lawton is a staple on TSN Trade Center. That is also true, yes.
Yeah.
Kind of forget about that. All right, so we're going to continue to sim here. Development report. Steve Dubinsky went up slightly. Good.
Quiet one. You'll get the big one in training camp.
All right, monthly budget. We're going to have to start spending points on team morale because we don't want to go and we'll just put it up by 0.3. Making half a point this month for our budget. And, all right, coach's report. No, only Yuri Slager is now only just needing several more months. So we're getting better.
Yeah, he's getting there slowly.
The new one looks... Dmitry Kristovich gets injured before we even play a game. Awesome.
By the way, you may want to take a look at your
tactics. He hit a storyline. Oh, first of all, poor Arders Urbe's album flopped. That's too bad. Nobody wanted to hear... Nobody wanted to hear the Latvian country album. Who could have foreseen this? Brian Lawton just got traded to Chicago. Toronto might be looking to move Vincent Damphousse. That would actually be an interesting ad. But I think it'd be too much for us to give up. Jets right winger Dmitry Kristovich requires medical attention yesterday after severely burning himself while barbecuing at his home. Kristovich suffered second-degree burns when a flame from the grill he was using suddenly shot up his right arm. It was a pretty scary scene, said teammate Pat Elnuck, who was with Kristovich when the accident occurred. I thought it was going to totally engulf him for a moment. The fire also singed Dmitry Kristovich's hair and eyebrows, but luckily failed to ignite the shirt he was wearing at the time. It honestly could have been much worse, said Elnuck. So how long is Kristovich out? 2 to 3 weeks with second-degree burns. And with that, training camp officially starts. All right. So
Joseph Fiesta in chat wants to make sure that not to let the Rangers win this year. That may be tough. They're loaded, among other things. They don't have Messier, but they wound up getting Yager in the draft.
Yes, they got Yager early. Okay, so we have, let's see here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 defensemen. All right, so forwards we got Cunnyworth. 3, 4. Okay, still have 2 more forwards. We don't have Zamnov in, so Zamnov's going in. And Jason Arnott's not really to go in. So do we want Nemechnikov or Robert Cron for this one.
Got, 5 centers dressed already? You don't need them Chinov on tower. 6 centers dressed already?
Yeah, well, that's because you made me convert a couple of them. Well, Greg Adams can play wing, so can Stumple. All right. Let's see what happens with the lines here.
You got half them locked in, though?
What's that, sorry?
You got half the spots locked?
Do you think I should unlock those guys?
Well, for the exhibition season, maybe.
All right. Oops.
I'm just curious to see where the AI would put things without any restrictions.
Mogilny, Howard, Solani, Shanahan, Adams, Elnick, Cunnyworth, Barnes, Stumple, Cron, Draper, Zamno. Cron's got
decent.
Need to change his tactic likely.
Yeah.
Up and down winger. Aggressive forechecker or back checking forward. I think up and down winger should work good for him. Kristovich was the last number 8 capital. Last capital to wear number 8 before Ovi. I'm going to put up and down. Nimesh. I can't. Okay. All right. Play a game versus Montreal. We're just going to sim through a bunch of this because it's the exhibition season, and who cares? We win 5-1 over Montreal. They score first, and then Cunnyworth, Shanahan, Howard, Barnes, Adams score.
They want to give your backup goalies a little bit of time, too?
To get Hasek hot so he can actually do all right. If you remember, it was not a pretty...
But you're trying to, just in case, if you can try to get that extra half star out of Rhodes or maybe even Reddick.
So 4-3 loss to the Islanders just because you said that.
And that's what the exhibition season's for.
And Fedosov got hurt and Zubov got hurt. Awesome.
Badly or?
Day to day.
Yeah. Lots of other guys you can put in.
I guess I don't really need to worry too much about this.
Do you want to bring Kirk Maltby up for the exhibition season?
Nah, he's not good enough right now.
Yeah, 1 star.
He's no. I'm not too worried, but we got enough guys, I think, right now.
You may want to take a look at your training before we get to the preseason development report.
Okay. We will stop right now and take a look.
Nice shutout there.
Taking a look here. All right, so we have Hasek taking the top training. Rhodes, let's put him on goalie training because I think Rhodes has the most potential.
Likely, yeah.
So,
even if he is behind a little behind the other two right now,
so
he wouldn't really peak for another 5 years or so.
Jeff, there's no way just to clear all this, right? We have to kind of go one by one if we want to check something.
Yeah.
All right, so mental training, we're going to add Chris Draper to that. So that's moved it down to 10, so we don't really want to touch that one anymore. Going to add Chris Draper to physical training as well. And just trying to look at all the different names.
10, 11 or more.
I feel like we should.
Anybody old?
If we put anybody else on, it's dropping it below 10.
Yeah.
The Dominator. Yes. We got him in a pretty good deal. Oh, it doesn't actually say what the deal was. Oh, you know what? We signed him as a free agent. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I forgot about that. 7-5 loss to Dallas.
You get for making fun of Urbe.
Just saying. I miss the 90s NHL. That's why we're playing the stream, Sarnas. That's why we're playing the stream. We are currently streaming live on both twitch.tv/OOTP Developments as well as twitch.tv/Franchise Hockey Manager. If you're watching it live and you're like, where are all these chat things he's talking about? I don't see this. It's probably because it's in the other chat. But we are watching both of them at this time. All right, Kristovich is ready to resume skating. That's good. Training camp development report. Here's what I wanted to see. All right. Ladislav Bezniak has a huge up. Acceleration, agility, aggression, fighting, getting open, puck handling, hitting, positioning.
Right. He was literally our worst defensive prospect and still hasn't gotten better than 1-star potential.
Oh, Roman Hammerlick outdoes him, though. Look at that. +1 balance, speed, stamina, strength, aggressiveness, fighting, passing, shooting, checking, shot blocking, and stick checking goes up +2 in stick handling. But he's still only half a star.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kirk Maltby's still only sitting at 1 star, so don't want to rush him. Brad Tilley is up to 1.5 for a defenseman. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's new. He was only 1-star at the start of this.
Ooh, Shea Donovan. Look at that. He went up huge, too. Acceleration, stamina, fighting, strength, determination, temperament, getting open, puck handling, shooting, accuracy, offensive read, positioning, stick handling's up 2.
You actually lost half a star in potential, though.
That's disappointing, but we'll see.
That may change, yeah.
He played games in the NHL, did he not, Sean Donovan?
Yep, sure. He had a long NHL career.
Yeah, so I expect him to kind of turn it around a little more there. Ian LaPerriere also puts up pretty nice big chunks. Some of these guys are taking big jumps. Jason Arnott goes up some. Anson Collmore. Chris Draper's up to 1.5, which I think he was at. Chris Gratton goes up a chunk too. Locklear, Smokey Reddick, Damian Rhodes, Daryl Shannon, Joseph Stumple. Stumple's at 2 stars. Was he at 2 stars before?
I don't think so. Hang on 1 second. No, he was not. He was 1.5 when we started this, so.
Oh, ooh. Howard Chuck goes down and so does Fedosov.
I mean, Howard Chuck had dropped off a little bit by this point in real life after the Buffalo trade. He was down to about, well, last year he had 96 points in real life, but he had like 140 in the game. So we may not get that big production out of him again, but he's got a lot better talent he's playing with now.
Yeah. So we raised ticket prices again, and people are upset about it. But we still are selling about 50%.
You keep raising.
Well, yeah. We need to build a new arena, Jeff. At this time, the only money the Jets were making was purely from gate revenue. They weren't even making concession money. So we need all that money. Game versus Buffalo. 5-1 win over our old goalie, Grant Fuhrer. Howard Chuck puts up 5 points. Mogilny puts up 3. Solani puts up 3 assists.
One more game against Edmonton, and then it'll be the waiver draft coming up.
All right. Game versus Edmonton, and 4-2 loss. So, Jeff, we talk about this, but if you're somebody who's tuning in for the first time or not familiar with 1990s hockey like Serenos, what is the waiver draft?
Basically, what happens in the waiver draft is instead of having the way things work now, teams have to, if they're going to send players down at the end of training camp, if they're waiver eligible, there's a bunch of guys going on waivers all at once, and there's sort of a scramble for them. Waiver draft was sort of more of a structured setup where every team worked sort of like an expansion draft where everyone can protect a certain number of players. We'll see that in a second here. And then you had a draft in reverse order of the standings from the previous year.
All right, so guys, so here we need to protect. So we're protecting Hasek, obviously.
Yep.
I think we're gonna protect Rhodes, unless you really want to fight me over the Loch Ness
No,
monster.
I think that's. I don't think there's any chance we're going to lose Locker.
After that, it's just by skaters. So Solani, Howardchuk, Shanahan, Olofsson, Mogilny, Elnick, Newmanen, Zuboff, Adams, Cunnyworth, Weinrich, Kristovich, Zamnov, Marchment, and then
You've got so many young guys still that we don't really stand to lose many people. Fetisov, you may want to.
You think we should protect him? I was thinking we wouldn't. But okay, we'll
No,
protect
you still want to get some use out of him this year, and it's not like you're going to.
York. And all right,
Dave Boone's not even on your roster. He's a unsigned free agent.
Yep, because we brought him in for nothing. He actually didn't have a terrible year. They had 28 points playing limited minutes. Kravchuk, who we just signed, we're also going to leave on in case somebody else wants him bad enough. So that's it. We protected our guys. Season preview. Well, we are one of the cup contenders.
Yeah, not surprising if you look at the
Mostly thanks to Hasek.
Positional rankings report for teams. I think it had at the start of this. We had
Jeff, there's a question for you
number 4
in the OOTP chat. If you want to read that.
In the OOTP chat?
Yep.
There's the same scoring. It's,
you can read the question word for word if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm just sorry. I thought it was in the FHM chat and just realized it. It just asking if the sim takes into account that the scoring was higher in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, it does. It varies. The numbers of goals per game gets adjusted by the actual amount it was in each season, so you will get higher scoring in the 80s up through the mid 90s, and then it just drops off the table and we start getting much more defensive hockey.
Okay, first guy on the waiver draft, I went, oh, that would be an interesting guy for us to grab back. It was Guy Hebert, and then Florida gives him up, so San Jose now has him.
Just looking at historical stats with the goals against our average goals per game dropped by over about 2/3 of a goal.
And just like
92, 93, 93, 94. So
just like that, we lost Igor Kravchuk. Hartford claimed him.
Easy come, easy go.
Joe Cocker, speaking of which, goes pick 7. Rudy Postchek, Bruce Hufford. If Craig Billington's sitting there, I think that's kind of a tempting pickup for backup goalie.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Pat Conacher, Steve Finn, Bill Thibodeau, Bruce Bell. Oh man, we lost Sergei Nemeshnikov too. Meshnikov. Boston grabbed him.
Gina.
Don Maloney. Oh, come on. You suck, Pittsburgh.
Grab Billington right before us?
Yep.
So, I'm going to sort it by ability and see what.
Bring old man Clint Marlarchuk in.
I mean, it's an option. He's had an okay year in Edmonton last year, it looks like.
Okay, Malarchuk, just so I'm trying to remember, he was the one who
There's
had his
yeah,
neck
that's
cut open, right?
Yep.
And got addicted to drugs because of it, unfortunately.
But you got Ken Reggett.
Ooh, that's actually tempting.
Yeah, that may make a little more sense. He's a couple of years younger, and how's he been doing in the game? So bouncing around a bit.
Yeah.
Flyers to Montreal, but yeah, I think that's probably our best option.
Okay. Well, we can still do this if we want toughness. I'm just waiting.
Stu Grimson's still out there.
The Grim Reaper.
Made it into one game last year.
Peter Laviolette. Yeah, I think it's going to be Ken Reggett, who, although he played for so many teams, I remember his playoff run with the Red Wings more than anybody else. Dave Poulin. Montreal's mad at us for taking Ken Reggett, so they take Dave Poulin.
The rights to Dave Poulin because he wasn't signed. All right.
Well, they're just like, nope,
You
we're
want him,
taking
you
him.
can have
Then
him.
you take our goalie, we'll take your player. All right. Brad Jones. No, but okay. Man, we have got picked clean. Zdeno Cigar, who just couldn't get off one star, gets picked up by Calgary. Oh, good for him.
Watch him wind up being rookie of the year there.
Probably. A skip pick, then Rod Langway goes. And skip picks at the end. Oh, I'm going to miss Zdeno Cigar, but he just never quite got there for us. Okay, I'm just going to try and shop Smokey Reddick and see if we get any offers. Oh, we did get a bunch of offers.
Yeah, if you can get a pick for him, that'd be good.
Montreal offers us Peter Pusher. No, thanks. Aaron Gavey? No. Oh, Jeff. Donald Brashear.
There's your toughness.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm not 25-year-old defenseman Mark Laforge, which we actually could use another defenseman since we lost one. Jim Ford, Storm, Bill Muckles, Mike Bullard. Okay, this 21-year-old center, left winger Scott Allison.
Start potential.
He never. I thought there. Unless we think of a different Allison who played in the NHL.
And Jason Allison.
No, not him. Different one.
Dave Allison.
Trevor Kidd is being offered. Might have been Dave I was thinking of. 32-year-old goaltender Don. Okay. Trade Smokey straight up for Don Beaupre.
Right.
Beaupre. Sorry, my bad. That's not a terrible trade.
Yeah, it would kind of make Reggett irrelevant. Although I don't really, at 32, Beaupre was he even in the league at this point?
I rejected it anyways now.
Yeah, I don't really trust that 2-star rating. Oh yeah, he still had a little bit left. He's starting in Washington.
Okay, so I didn't say no to Donald Brashear. Should we trade Smokey for Donald Brashear?
Why not?
All right, we have a jam of goalies, so we bring in Donald Brashear. Okay, just because I'm going to shop him and see what I get for offers. Nobody wants Donald Brashear. Wow. That seems mean. Okay, so let's just take a look at our depth chart here. Okay, we're still good for defensemen. Oh, man, Daryl Shannon has to go on waivers. Oh, that's disappointing. Although, actually, he would be our seventh defenseman anyways. We can leave him as our seventh defenseman.
You may want to call Tiley up for that though, because he's a little better than him now. I don't think you're going to lose him on waivers.
All right. Bashir is getting sent down. Jason Arnott is getting sent down. St. Colmore is getting sent down. Chris Gratton's getting sent down. What are we at here? 22 players, so we're fine now for what we have. Okay. Shannon doesn't clear waivers and is claimed by San Jose.
Oh, yeah, I forgot San Jose is in the league in there.
Thanks, Jeff. Love it.
Completely terrible, so we'll claim pretty much everything.
Hey, Red Flyers, how's it going? Red Flyers, how do we sound? Do we sound okay? And, okay, so yeah. Oh, man. All I want to do is have Daryl Shannon on my Jets team, and then you made me get rid of him. Poor Daryl Shannon. Ken Reggett wants number 31. Oh, USA Fiesta. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate you letting me know. Okay, Ken Reggett's got 31. All right. Frank Petrangelo is on waivers now. Who wouldn't have been a bad 28-year-old goalie to pick up either. And he got claimed, so we probably wouldn't have got him anyways then.
Actually starting in San Jose the last couple of years. Did they get a better goalie?
Edmonton just picked him up. Let's take a look at San Jose. Nope. They have Guy Hebert, who I guess they're running with, and then they have
that's
Vincent Rindeau.
Rindeau.
Robbie Tallis as a backup. Derek Wilkinson. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, you can... Poor Peter Forsberg's playing by himself, and then there's just...
They did get Marty. They made a decent trade in the offseason, got Marty Jelena from Edmonton.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But yeah, they're really having trouble putting that team together. They got Brian Rafalski.
Yeah, I see that. We sent them Dan Hodson, who actually didn't do terrible for them. We sent them Michel Goulet, who was not great for them. And we sent them Stasny, too. I guess they do have some decent prospects. Brian McCabe's coming.
And he was the third overall pick in the draft. Because the expansion teams drafted first. They would have had Marty Saint-Louis if they were picking first.
Yeah. So we're now at the regular season. We play Washington. Okay, so we got to get our goaltenders dressed. Fedosov's in.
Oh, actually, the McCabe thing doesn't look so good all of a sudden because they took him ahead of Chris Pronger.
Ooh. To each their own. Oh, Alto needs to go down too. Yeah. So we currently don't actually have an extra forward. Boy, that is some desperation on free agency there. I think we got to watch waivers for at least a 1-star forward, because we got Maltby and Arnott's 1.5 stars, but I don't want to pull him up to sit on the bench.
Yeah, I'd maybe call up Maltby or just bring Alatello back.
Alatello's only 0.5 star. I can sign Brent Hughes, who's 1 star.
Oh, we still got the rights to him. Yeah, he was actually 0.5 star at the start of this. He's gone up a little somehow.
Well, or maybe we're seeing him wrong. Let's offer him a contract anyways. And as soon as we sign him, Alto goes ahead of him. Yo-Yo says, how is Rafalski playing in 93? So in historical, you can play it as as players actually come in, or we're playing with the development engine, which means that players can be better or worse than they actually are. And so that's how
instead of going to
Rafalski's it.
college and then spending a couple of years in the minors after that, or
It's also
actually a
why
few years in
using
the minors.
Timo Solani, he didn't come over till 92, 93, which we played out, but we brought him over in 1990 instead. He skipped his military commitments. Okay, so Brent Hughes was an absolute waste of time. Man, was there anybody on like free agent center? Oh boy, that's okay. What we're gonna do is do this. We're gonna go manager options and tell me when there is a 1-star player available on waivers. Say, yeah, okay, I forgot to redo the lines here, so let's get that done. Howard, Chuck, Solani aren't moving. Shanahan, McGillney, Adams, Barnes, Cunnyworth, Stumple, Draper, Zamnoff, Crone. Yeah, okay.
Makes sense all the way down, I think.
18, 17, 14. Zuboff, Newman, Weinrich, Olofsson, Marchment, Fedizov. Okay, Hassickson, net, Reggett backing him up. Sounds good. Now, did you want to see the lovely mascots, Jeff?
Sure, why not?
Yosef Fiesta, it's not a dumb question. There's nothing wrong. I appreciate the question and you asking that. All right, so we can see here, just going to have all goals on. Actually, hold on. Let's go full here for the first minute. So we're going to watch the warm-up and see all the beauty. Oh, yeah.
They'll say that looks like Grover.
Benny and the Jets. Benny and the
As usual, I have to point out at this point that this is Adam's mod. It's not how they look by default in the game. You should have the logos.
Available on our forums, and I believe Red Flyers put it up on Steam as well. As well as the sound mod. Kolzig, wasn't Kerry backing up the Don for the Caps at this time? Things change. All right, so
looks like he's pushed him out.
We're going to switch this to just all goals. So it sims a little faster here. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're consoling Hassick because we weren't happy. All right, Keith Jones makes it 1-0. Oh, there we go. Chris Draper. Fourth line comes through. Draper assisted by Adams and Cunnyworth. All right.
Not a great goal on Kolzig from bottom of the faceoff circle.
Greg Adams doesn't understand his role. Okay, well, he seems to understand now. Pat Elnick looks intimidated after being run over repeatedly. Do you want your team to target Dale Hunter, who delivered the latest hit for physical play, to get Pat Elnick's confidence back?
You got anybody capable of going, oh, you got Marchment.
Yeah, we're going after Hunter. Absolutely we are. Do you want to stop singling out Dale Hunter for physical punishment so you're less likely to take penalties against him? No. Stu Barnes doesn't understand what he's doing. That's not good. All right, Elnick to Adams. Adams to Zubov. Back to Adams to McGillney, and he scores! All right, 2-1 lead. You know, for being worried about taking penalties, we sure are not taking a lot of penalties against Howard or against Hunter. Shanahan across the blue line, zipping it back and forth. Howard check. We got that back to a defenseman. I didn't see who it was. It was too quick for me. Teppo Newman scores his first of the year. Well done, boys.
And that would have been while they were trying to get goals of goat.
3-1 win.
Good opener.
They score first, but we beat them down. Clint Malarchuk is now on waivers. So who's Edmonton got in? I guess Bill Ranford's still there, eh?
Yeah. That's why we got fear from them, because they were willing to trade him with having Ranford.
Now they got Ranford and Pietrangelo.
Oh, they got Dwayne Rollison and Manny Fernandez behind them.
Yeah, all right.
And they're still hanging on to Messier and Curry and most of the core of that. Well, now the defense is totally overhauled.
Pat
Lowe's gone, Coffey's gone.
Pat Elnick is injured day to day with a bruised jaw. So it's a good thing we targeted somebody.
Hunter.
All right. Okay, so let's just take a look here at the transactions. Trade block. Trading for Jeff Bukaboom would be great. Okay, Sean Van Allen. Currently playing with Kalamazoo in the AHL. Can play center and left wing. He had a pretty productive career for, almost 800 games. Okay, can we get him? Dallas Stars need a goaltender. Okay, well, it's too bad we traded away Smokey, but
maybe get him for a draft pick.
I was wondering if we could trade Locker too. We have an extra fifth. What do we have for rights I don't care about? Fifth round pick doesn't seem like it's going to be enough from what they're talking about. Oh, well, let's well-balanced offer. All right, let's offer them that. And see if we get any. Oh, we're playing against Dallas. Right, injured players, so we have to dress Brent Hughes in a game. Hughes is going to be playing way over his head because I don't want to change all the lineups. He'll go on the second line with Mogilny. See what happens. Okay, I will check Kolzig's start here too in a second. 5-5 tie.
How'd Hughes do?
That's what I am curious about myself. Hughes. Actually, not terrible. 57 offensive game rating, 64 defensive game rating for a 68 score defensive. -1, 1 block shot, 5 penalty minutes, so he got into a fight. 13:42 ice time. Honestly, not terrible. All right, Washington.
Yeah, if you get Van Allen, he's headed back to the farm.
Okay, so Kolzig played 34 games in 1990.
So yeah, Kolzig's come up a little bit faster than he did in real life.
Oh, when is the earliest start in the game? You can go all the way back to 1917, Serranos. Yeah, you can play all the way forward from 1917, playing the NHL as well as the
You can take
PCHA.
that one star. Yeah, PCHA. Well, it's PCHA, then it becomes a WCHL, and then the one season of
Oh
the
no, no,
WHL.
Stumple's hurt. All right, I guess Jason Arnott's coming up. So Arnott's coming in for Stumple. What's going to be the right tactic for Arnott? Power forward. Yeah, power forward.
Yeah.
No pre-NHL. Not right now. It's kind of messy beforehand, right, Jeff?
Actually, was thinking about it for FHM9, but decided to do something else instead. May still happen eventually, though.
Yeah, it's still funny to me the fact that the NHL exists because they hated an owner so much they closed the first league, and then
Eddie Livingstone in Toronto,
and then reopened it the next day.
Yep.
National Hockey Association became the National Hockey League. All right, 5-1 victory over Chicago. All right, Kristovich is getting close to returning too, so that's also good. Dallas says, no way. All right, let's see if we can add just another draft pick.
like a 6th rounder or something.
Do they have anybody they're trying to get rid of? That changes that.
There really wouldn't be any cap concerns at this point, so the salary doesn't matter to them.
All right, we'll leave Hasek in still. Soy Fiesta says Predators legend. I don't know. I always think of Jason Arnott as from Edmonton, and then as a New Jersey Devil.
The Last Devils.
How would you handle the rover position in pre-NHL?
That's a problem. Yeah, it's the newer match engine is probably flexible enough to handle it, but there's a few things built into the interface that we'd have to work around. We could sort of treat it as an extra skater because it predates pulling the goalie. We could just sort of disable pulling the goalie and put him in that extra skater slot and call it the rover. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit messy.
Okay, good news. Kristovich is back. Which means we can redo some stuff. Arnott's had 2 points in 2 games, but I'm going to send him back down for now. Yeah. Kristovich comes in. So Crone comes out and Stumple comes in.
Why are you taking Corona out and leaving Hughes in? Oh, no, Hughes isn't in.
Hughes is already out. Elnick's back in. This is just to help redo the lines here, so.
Yeah.
Coneyworth, Barnes, Kristovich, Draper, Zamnos, Stumple. Okay, I like that better.
You think Rega to start at some point?
He has got to start.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He won a game versus, I don't remember who he played. Somebody. Rit Flyer says, Adam, Jeff, I may be tied up for a bit military-wise when the beta rolls around. Might be getting promoted to Chief Petty Officer in the Navy. A real strong possibility, and that ties me up from September till early October. Well, that's really exciting for you, Rit Flyers. No way.
Well, no worries. We'll keep you on the beta list, and you got time. Just do what you can.
We appreciate you reaching out, though. Christophe Oliwa's all mad. What? I really want to get him, but I don't know what we should give up to get him. Okay, what if I just offer them a goalie? That still doesn't change.
They may just spawn a little too much.
Offer them another 5th-round pick. So 2 5ths and an 8th. Plus the rights to somebody I don't care about. 7-4 victory over Chicago.
We haven't lost yet, have we?
Why you gotta say
yeah,
that,
4-1-1.
Okay. Rick Tabaraki is on waivers. Only 24, and he's 2 stars. So we could have grabbed a decent goalie now. If we hadn't got Ken Reggett. Bruce Racine. Tabaraki got claimed on waivers. Of course he did. By Anaheim. Okay, so who's Anaheim got a goal then? Richter and Tabaraki. Oh, that's not bad.
The Rangers weren't able to do that little shuffle that they did in the they lost, wound up losing and Beeswork in this expansion. That's right.
I do love the
Looks
fact
like
that
they kept him and,
that Anaheim still drafted Paul Kariya. That's great. I love it. Yois Fiesta says, is there any plans to make a perfect team mode?
not imminently.
Okay, it seems like we just, no matter what, we can't get Sean Van Allen, or they want way too much for him.
Well, we got Kristich back from the injured list, so...
Yeah, I'd still like to find somebody, like, just to boost our forward, because, again, one injury, and we were just, like, scrambling there.
You could look to see if you can sign off a minor league team. Just doing a general search and filter for signable.
Dave Poulin. Yeah, literally Dave Poulin.
Ken Quinney.
Tell me about Ken Quinney.
Victoria Cougar was, I think, out of the NHL by this point. And...
Yeah, 91. Yeah, that's not exactly... All right, let's go back to the trade block there. I want to see what else. Your old buddy Blaine Peterson.
Eric B. Peterson, you mean?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was looking at Bob Corcoran, and that's where that came out. All right, can we get Bob Corcoran? Not really anybody special. But maybe they want less for him. Buffalo has no real weaknesses.
Yep, not making that trade really worked out for both teams. Oh, well, looks like they picked up Konstantinov, and did they get him in the draft? No, they traded for him. They traded Keith Carney for him. Bad trade for the Wings.
4-1 victory over Edmonton. Solani continues to score 6 goals. 7 goals. Okay, well, there's our first decent forward, Lyndon Byers. 1 star.
That's decent.
Well, compared to, I'm not saying we're taking him, I'm just saying it's there. Buffalo says no way to our trade offer. But it's close to being all right. All right, let's just offer them that second, 5th rounder. They will probably accept that offer. Okay, can we send something worse? Adding an 8th, then it says, okay, they'll might accept that. All right, game versus Detroit. 3-2 win again. And Sergei Zubov got hurt. He's day-to-day.
Defeated in 7 games so far. See?
And Greg Adams
I said
hurt.
it before. Oh.
Oh, yeah, look at that. You start injuring our guys again. So Tilly comes in for
Yeah,
Zubov.
but nobody's gotten hurt seriously yet.
And Greg Adams comes out, and Crone comes in. By 4 victory. Mogilny, Newman, and Shanahan. Kennyworth, Stu Barnes, Mogilny with a hat trick.
Assuming we're in first place in the league, eh?
We are. All right, Buffalo has accepted that deal.
Finally.
All right, so that gives us Bob.
That was a Corkum one, not the Van Allen one.
Well, yeah, I couldn't get that to work. This is Dan Ruchinski, who's not on our team, a 5th and an 8th round pick. Complete trade. We got Bob, so we can send Brent Hughes down. All right. Corcoran will work just fine for what we need. And I guess we're actually past our hour here, Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
Corcoran wants number 19. That seems wrong to give him 19. We're going to give him number 92. That's better. Greg Adams is on the edge of returning. Back-to-back games versus Florida and Tampa Bay. We will sim this. And we lose to Florida our first game of the year. They're 3-6, or 2-6-1, and we lose to them 2-1. Greg Adams is back.
The expansion team. How are the expansion teams doing, by the way, them and Anaheim?
Give me 1 second.
And San Jose, for that matter? They're probably worse than both of them.
Ken Reggett game versus Tampa Bay. 5-2 victory to get us back on the winning side. All right, so we want to see standings. Anaheim is 1-7, 1-7-1. Florida is 3-6-1. San Jose is 3-4-3.
Wow.
Ahead of Vancouver. And Ottawa is 2-3-2.
You have a quick look at the San Jose roster?
We just looked at
Did
it.
they pick up people, or did they just get lucky in a few games?
I'm guessing Peter Forsberg is willing his way to victory here.
Yeah, they're sure not any better.
I mean, Daryl Shannon has 5 assists. It's probably all him. All right, Sergei Zubov is back soon. All right, so let's do the wrap up here while I continue to sim forward. So thank you very much for tuning into another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Franchise Hockey Manager, as well as, twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. We get our butts kicked by Gretzky, who has 4 goals, and we lose 9-3.
Defending champions.
Yeah, boy. We outshot them, but... Whew. All of our streams are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments. Stream archives usually go live on Sundays at about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time because we like to support our European viewers. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. On Twitter, we're at Franchise Hockey. You can also find a link to our official Discord in our Twitter bio. Of course, you can come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which brings you to our official forums when you can talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, Perfect Team, Go, or anything else you wish to discuss. And Jeff, that's a 7-1 victory over Calgary, which I love, and probably the perfect spot to end it on.
I think so. Slana gets a hat trick.
So, we'll look at the stats here. So through a number of games. And Teppo Numminen just got injured because, of course, there was. All right. So through 12 games, Solani has 17 points, including 11 goals. Howardchuk's got 15 points in 12 games. Mogilny's got 12 points in 12 games. Shanahan's got 12 points in 12 games. Newman's got 11 in 12 games.
So everybody producing, really?
Everybody's doing something. All right. With that, Jeff, thank you. And we will be back again next week with your Vancouver game where you continue to disappoint, right? That's the big thing.
We're actually in the playoffs now, so we're going to finish that up. And we're also controlling Team Canada in the World Championship. So we'll be picking that team at the start of the show and going through the World Championships tournament as we do the, assuming the Canucks can continue making it through the playoffs. They haven't been knocked out yet.
We'll see. All right. Well, thank you very much, Jeff. And thank you for all those who tuned in, and we will see you all again next week.